When Hyundai launched the Ioniq 5 in 2021, it showcased the brand's design intentions, with a premium EV-centric platform which will shape the future of their entire range. Fast forward to 2023 and Hyundai has got the new Kona Electric to show us. This has been on sale in the UK for the last 5 years, thoroughly redeveloped, an entirely new vehicle now on a new platform. Let's take a closer look. My name is Miles Roberts, you're watching Chorley Group GoEV. So with the Ioniq 5, they gave us this pixelated look which showed all these little blocks. We've got lots of little blocks continued in the grille down here, and also in this light strip, which is a really thin strip that runs all the way across the front here with these little pixel blocks in here, moving down to these LED headlamps, which give a really good view of the road ahead and look really nice and bright, and actually being big chunky on the corners of the bumpers really stand out. Under here we've got the charging flap. So here we've got AC at the top. That's 11 kilowatt AC maximum. That means it'll charge from 10% to 100% in about 5.5 hours. And then down here we've got CCS charging. That's 101 kilowatts peak. So that means that you charge from 10 to 80% in around 35 minutes. Moving around the vehicle, we've got these 19-inch alloy wheels. These are standard on the Ultimate model. You can, if you want, specify 17-inch wheels instead, which come as standard on the Advanced model. Now 17-inch wheels, because they're a bit smaller, give you a bit more range. So if you go for the 17-inch wheel on this, you get over 300 miles range on this car. Moving down the side, we've got cameras under each of the wing mirrors. That gives you a really good top-down view of the road. And as you move along the side of the car, one thing you'll notice is a lot wider on the side here. It's actually 6 centimetres longer on the wheelbase, which means that you get more interior space inside the car. And then out back, we've actually got 17.5 centimetres extra length overall, most of which has gone into the boot. Now, one of the criticisms on the old model was that the boot was only 332 litres. Well, actually, the new one is now 466 litres, and on the Ultimate spec, you've got this powered tailgate. So inside, you've got masses of room. We've got big bags that we use for our video equipment. Loads of room in there, and there's even storage underneath as well. So there's plenty of space for all your family's needs. So 40% bigger boot, which is fantastic to see as a family car. So this LED lighting continues around the back of the vehicle. We've got these pixel lights running along here. We've got these sort of pixels built into the bumper down here, reflectors, and then that pixel continues along the back here. Reversing camera under here, which again, you can actually put the reversing camera on the rear view camera whilst you're driving. So no matter what speed you are, you can switch between a forwards or a rear view. It's quite handy. We've also got the ability now on this model to have up to a 750 kilo tow bar fitted. It's enough for a small trailer. And you can also put up to 100 kilos on the roof. So if you've got a large roof box or kayaks or whatever else, bikes and things you might want to put on the roof, that's useful, particularly with e-bikes nowadays weighing so much more than normal bikes. Having a 100 kilo roof load is really useful. So under the bonnet we've actually got a 27 litre Frunk. So it's only a small space, but it's enough there to fit a charging cable, perhaps like a breakdown kit, you know, with a warning triangle and so on. Things you're not going to use day to day, and it saves room in the boot. Let's take a look on the inside and see what it's like in there. So the interior of the Kona Electric has been thoroughly reworked with this new model, and the first thing I noticed really is the extra width that we've got here. And this centre console now sits so much lower, so it feels a lot more spacious inside. These two screens we've got here are pretty much plucked straight out of the Ioniq 5, and so they give a clear, crisp display on both of these 12-inch screens. We've got very clear displays and physical buttons for all of the climate control features. One thing that I'm very glad we've got today, because it's freezing cold, heated seats, heated steering wheel. We've got heated seats in the back as well. The seats are also ventilated, so on those rare days in the UK where it does get sunny and warm, which I can't remember now, back to last summer, you can actually ventilate the seats and cool yourself down if you wish to. But overall, you know, the interior, everything's ergonomically in a good position, and I like the fact that you don't have to go through touch screens to be able to change the temperature settings and things. It's all just done on little toggles, which are very easy to reach when you're driving. The screens are clear, as I say, very clear. We've got DAB radio, we've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. On this model we've got wireless phone charging down here as well. We've got a heads-up display on this Ultimate model. It's now got the stalk from the Ioniq 5. And we've got a drive mode selector down here, which if you turn it to the left it goes to Eco, and if you turn it to the right it goes to normal or sport or snow. We've got 2 USB-C charging ports here. Then under this little flap there's a 12-volt socket, which is a maximum of 180 watts. In the centre console here we've got a large central bin, which you can use either for general storage, or if you push these buttons here, that flicks and then gives you 2 cup holders. And then under this armrest we've got some storage under here. But if you need to put big things in, that can actually lift out, so you could fit like a 2-litre bottle or something of Coke in there if you wanted to. The door bins are usefully sized. Again, you can fit like a litre bottle in those, each of the front door bins. And yeah, some of the plastics are a bit harder than other places, but it's all just for sort of making it last as long as it can, really. What you don't want to have is, you know, stuff that's going to get scuffed and scraped easily, and certainly when we put these harder plastics in, they withstand the beating of kids getting with shoes and things like that a lot easier. The seats, electrically adjustable in this ultimate spec. We've got a sunroof as well, which is part of the Lux pack. The rear view mirror here, it's quite sleek, almost frameless. There's a very slight bezel around it. That looks like it's an auto dimming mirror. It's a well appointed interior. This has got leather option, which is a £2,000 option. Let's take a look in the back and see how the rear passenger is treated. So as a rear seat passenger, you've actually got a bit more space than you did in the last model. So these seats have been made a little bit thinner, and that means that you've got good level of knee room. I've got probably 10 centimetres of room in front of my knees here. I'm 5'11", and the driver's seat's set for me. So yeah, I've got plenty of leg room here. Knee room's fine. Headroom, okay. The back seat actually does recline. We've got, on this Ultimate spec, we've got 3-stage heated seats, both the outer seats in the back here. Obviously we've got Isofix. We've got an armrest which comes down with a couple of cup holders in it. We've got 2 USB-Cs down here on the floor and some rear vents as well. And there's also 3-pin domestic socket, so 250 volts, so you can put in any sort of device that requires a normal household plug socket. You can plug in here up to a maximum of 16 amps, so that's enough to run, well, it's enough to run a kettle. Plugged in here, taking 13 amps constantly, this battery would still last like 2.5 days. And most things don't take that much power constantly. A domestic fridge would probably be run for about 2 weeks off this car batteries. In the centre, it's a little bit, yeah, you see, if you're an adult and you've got size 10 feet like me, then yeah, your feet sort of end up wedged either side of the centre console. If you're a family of 4, plenty of shoulder room, plenty of comfort around the back. So, the Hyundai Kona, what's it like to drive? Well, it's very comfortable. It's got what I remember, and that's even with the 19-inch wheels fitted on this model. On this Ultimate spec we've got a heads-up display. We've got speed adjusting cruise control with lane keep assist, which basically means it steers, keeps in the lane, and if the car in front slows down, it slows down. So doing motorway journeys, nice and easy. Officially, in this vehicle, it's about 287 miles of range with the 19-inch wheels. If you go for the 17-inch wheels, which is an option on the Ultimate spec, that increases to 319 miles, which is quite a useful upgrade over the old model that I used to have, which was sort of 286 miles. Having said that, today it is 2 degrees centigrade outside. It's quite a cold day. Overall, we've only been averaging around sort of 3.4, 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So that translates to, with a 65 kilowatt hour battery, around sort of 200-ish miles of range, rather than 280. But we kind of expect, I've got the heated seats on, I've got the heating on, you know, we're not driving it particularly eco because we're driving on the motorway. But realistically, real world driving in winter, 200 miles on motorway. In summer, 300 miles should be achievable. I certainly used to get that in the older version. I like in these twin screens, which are taken straight out of the Ioniq 5, which of course this is built on the same platform as the Ioniq 5. So it's got the same sort of, you know, EV first powertrain. So whereas the old model was designed to be a petrol and a hybrid, and then they decided to make it electric, this one was designed as an electric, and then they also make a petrol and a hybrid versions. Sound levels okay, there's a bit of rough tarmac just here where it could do with resurfacing, but the noise levels aren't totally intrusive. It feels quite nice to drive. Good visibility out. We've got things like blind spot warnings and monitorings. One thing I do like is when you, on this Ultimate spec, when you select an indicator turn left or right, it actually pops up on the dash display, same as it did in the Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6. We've got adjustable regen, so on the paddles, shifters here, if you increase it all the way, you get to an I-pedal, which is where it's basically one pedal driving. So overall, yeah, it's a comfy place to sit. So on a cold day like today, certainly the heated steering wheel and the heated seats are very, very pleasant place to be. So how does this new Kona Electric range stack up? Well, it starts off with the advanced 48 kilowatt hour version, and that has got a 156 horsepower motor. It's got a range of up to 234 miles from its 48 kilowatt hour battery, which is better than the old 39 kilowatt hour battery with less than 200 miles range in the original entry level. And that starts at 34,995. The Advance is also available with a bigger battery, the 65 kilowatt hour battery, and that gives up to 319 miles of range, and that's 38,595. We then go on to N-Line and the N-Line S models. They only come with a big battery, but because of the 19-inch wheels, it drops to 282 miles of range. And then we've got the Ultimate spec, which is what we've driven today, and that comes with a bigger battery and all the kit on it, and that has a list price of 43,095 on the road. Now, inflation has been in the news quite a lot, and certainly when I was looking at this price, I bought one of the original Kona Electrics in Premium SE, which is effectively the ultimate model nowadays, and that was 36,295 in 2018 with a 64 kilowatt hour battery. Now, actually, if you put that into the Bank of England's inflation calculator, adjusted for 2023 pricing, that price of that car back in 2018 is equivalent to £45,232 in 2023. So actually, if you look at the price of the Ultimate, it's £2,000 less than what its equivalent model was 5 years ago. And it's a much bigger car, it's much better, it's got a bigger boot, it's got more legroom, it's a lot more comfortable, a lot more bigger vehicle. It feels more like a Sportage inside compared to the Kona of old. So in that basis, I think that it's a really good value motor car, and I think you should take a look at it if you're in the market for a family-sized EV. It's definitely one that I think deserves a test drive, and so please do get in touch with Chorley Group to arrange that for you. Hope you found this video interesting. If you have, please click the like button down below, it really helps us out, and let us know what you think of this car in the comment section below. Click up here to subscribe to our channel. If you click up here, you'll be able to see more information about the Hyundai KONA Electric on our website. Click down here to see the video review we did of the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and click down here to see the video review we did of the Ioniq 6. If you'd like to test drive it, get in touch with Chorley Group Hyundai today.